because he's like a personable guy. But honestly, I always thought he was kind of a douchebag. I mean,
no, that's bullshit. One guy told you he met Phil Mickelson one time and talked to him and told you he was a dick, and now you believe Phil Mickelson's a dick.
No, here's the funny thing. I'm a left-handed golfer. I'm not very good, by the way. Very bad, actually, by the way. So
thank you for correcting that.
So
you forgot to say. I think you forgot to say very, very bad.
Okay. Thanks for remembering that. But yeah, so the point is, I mean, so you think, oh, Phil Mickelson is a left-handed golfer. He's the best left-handed golfer of all time. He's won like 42 tournaments.
I think he is the best left-handed golfer
of all time. And it's like just something about that guy. And we're about the same age, actually. I never liked that guy. He just seems like a fake.
Well, he kind of once again broke the Robert Downey Jr. rule of going full retard, right? Because
he went full retard.
Because he went with the golf league, and then some guy was writing a book, and so he wanted to go with the Saudis, and then he said all these terrible things about the Saudis, right? Like they're scary dudes, and they do human trafficking and all that kind of shit. And then all of a sudden everything just blew up on him, right?
Well, here's exactly what he said. I'm just paraphrasing, but so here's a guy.
You can't say here's exactly what he said and then paraphrase.
Here's a guy. No, this is real. Phil Mickelson has made $800 million, almost $1 billion, playing golf on the PGA Tour. Obviously, I think $100 million of it came from actually playing golf. Say $700 million came from sponsorship, but the point is he's made almost $1 billion just playing golf.
Right.
Playing golf. And here's what Phil Mickelson said. Basically, he said the Saudi Arabians, they kill gay people. They have a lot of human rights abuses, but that's okay because as long as we can get some more money for the PGA Tour pros like me, then it's okay. And that's what did him in.
It does.
He's very tone deaf.
It does sound kind of shitty.
Well, not just obviously ask KPMG, ask Callaway, ask American Express, who just dropped Phil Mickelson as a sponsor. So yeah, it sounds more than shitty. It's really fucking bad.
Yeah,
pardon the language. So
whoa,
pardon the language.
Teddy barely ever says the word fuck.
I hate to say that word.
Dude, what?
I don't like this. I don't like to say the F word gratuitously, like some people on podcasts we've listened to in the top 10.
Teddy,
who suck, by the way.
Listen, okay, so Teddy and I, when we were in Arizona.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about this. Yeah.
Well, just briefly though. We were doing some research, right? We had a lot of free time. We're driving back and forth to different places, different golf courses, and getting drunk and. Doing golf things. And so Teddy and I decided, Teddy's like, oh, man, we got to listen to some other podcasts, right?
I've never, so it's funny, I've never listened to any podcast. I mean, I heard like the Joe Rogan Experience, which is like the top of the food chain, but the point is, so we actually Googled like the top 10 or 20 podcasts of just anybody who's like, got like, like I said, the best podcasts, right now to this day. Mm-hmm. And we listened to those podcasts. And honestly, the word unimpressed, it's not even it was like the lamest, boringest, forgettable, uninspiring thing I've ever heard.
It was, you know what? I got to admit. Man. So we're just doing this. I think this is show number 7, right?
Yeah.
And so Teddy and I, we had to do that, we had to listen, right? We had the time. And we started listening and honestly, I couldn't fucking believe how bad they were. It was it was
like Uber bad.
Yeah, it was just a guy like complaining about his day.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why would anybody want to listen to this guy telling stories about shit, about dumb shit that happened? I went there and the door was locked.
Yeah.
I
waited in line for 20 minutes and they gave me a check and blah blah. It was like the most tedious, boring. Yeah, like I said, I thought you deep faked me or something, where I thought we were just listening to something like completely different, but this was like these are the top 10 or 20 podcasts right now to this day. I was like, wow.
It was pretty crazy.
It was a snooze fest.
And this is not a Prince Andrew deep fake. No, it was real. Yeah. All right, so Teddy, if we're going to talk about sports, I tell you what, I want to talk about the Olympics because they just finished, and the Olympics are a weird thing to me, right?
It's really weird.
Did you watch any of the Olympics?
I did. I watched some of it.
What's some of the things you watched? What's some of the things you give a shit about?
I watched curling. I watched some ice skating.
Curling. Wait, are you talking about shuffleboard on ice?
Half pipe.
Shuffleboard on ice. That's what curling is, right?
I watched some half pipe. So because it's the Winter Olympics. It's the Winter Olympics.
Teddy watched some half pipe and got some full pipe. Well, you're right. I think sometimes we watch it, right, just because it is what it is. But I got to be honest with you. I really don't give a shit about any of that stuff, right? there's a whole bunch of bobsledding, there's some skiing, and there's some figure skating, and some snowboarding.
I did watch some skeleton and luge, which is interesting. But here's the big picture takeaway. So you have these girls who are like, say, 15 years old, like that girl who got the positive drug test at the Olympics, and they still allowed her to skate, which was controversial, and she was the Olympic favorite, and she actually flamed out. I think she finished off the podium. But the point is, you have these girls that are training since the age of like 3 or 4 to perfect these movements for this one moment in time right now, to not even win like $1 million, just to win this like stupid gold medal, which isn't really like gold. It's probably some like some.
So you're saying you don't think the gold medal is gold?
No, it's okay. Let's just say the gold medal is gold, and then so let's just figure. So on one end of the spectrum, there's a participation trophy, which is just for showing up, and then the gold medal is like, yeah, you beat everybody. So that's two ends of the spectrum. But here's the point: should you let your child sacrifice their whole life to win this like silly gold medal? Which, yeah, you might get some perks at the end of the day, but I mean, it's such an antiquated, a thing. It's like
right.
it's like being a Betamax repairman or VCR repairman. It's just like,
Right. No. I'm saying that's Teddy.
Dumb.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Dumb.
Like, why do we need the Olympics anymore? I mean, who gives a shit? I mean, I get it. 50 years ago, right? They didn't have all these championships, but every single sport has an event like once a month, like downhill skiing. They do downhill skiing all the time.
You can do it any time. Why do you have to wait 4 years? I mean, so for example,
Right.
when someone says, "Oh, let's just say this poor girl who didn't go doing the Olympics, like she has to wait another 4 years to do good," why can't she just do good next year?
Well,
or
she
6
can.
months from now.
She can in whatever championship they have. Like, they have world championships every year, so you
Yeah.
can win whatever you want.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't watch figure skating anymore, man.
Really?
I just don't fucking get it. Yeah, it just makes me fucking crazy. I just don't care. And sports that have judges are the worst sports of all time. I can't deal with like outrage over a judging whatever.
Yeah. Well, judging is very subjective, obviously. I mean, obviously, if, like, for example, if you're judging a sport and somebody falls down or messes something, obviously you can figure that out, obviously. But let's just say nobody does that. It's just a question of, it's a popularity contest. It's like The Voice or America's Got Talent. You just pick the best person everybody likes the best, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Teddy, here's one of the sports, biathlon.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Is that like on the skis when you're shooting stuff?
No, I think that's where you go to a bar and you pick up the first person, male or female.
Okay.
Yeah, and then everybody's a winner. No losers, everybody's a winner. Is that not what biathlon is?
No, I don't think so.
What? It involves skiing? Who gives a shit about skiing?
I think that's skiing. Yeah, that's skiing when you're shooting on skis. That's what
man, I
is,
thought it.
yeah.
Okay.
And moving targets.
Okay, I thought it was about getting laid. Now I hate the Winter Olympics even more. Okay, so Teddy, if you had to do one event in the Winter Olympics only, okay, what event would you do?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would do curling because it's very it's very safe. You're just kind of pushing that little big puck on skis, and you're just kind of pushing it toward the target.
See, I knew you'd say that because it's the easiest. Do you know they have shoes on that make them not slip?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I tell you what, let's make this, it's more exciting to me. You ready? Let's just go uncontrolled, no, just regular shoes or something.
Yeah.
Make it so that it's dangerous and something can happen because, I mean, it's so slow. You know what I'm thinking? If you want to keep the Olympics, let's make the games more exciting.
Yeah.
Put some kind of excitement in what you're doing, right? Now, honestly, when you said curling, I did think you might say another sport.
What was that?
Doubles luge. Are you familiar with doubles luge?
Well, I heard so there's skeleton and then there's luge. So luge is the one where the guy is like on the single,
right?
Like
right.
the sled thing, and he's going down the chute.
Right, so doubles luge is two guys.
Two guys, that's right.
Okay, so one guy lays with his back on the sled, and then another guy runs and he jumps.
Isn't that bobsled?
And he puts his back on the guy, and they both are laying there on top of each other.
Sounds like docking.
Well, okay, they're not facing each other because that would be sex. Okay, so the one guy is laying on
but the genitals still match up.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it,
exactly.
still
so
sex.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I never understood this one. So you practice this all day long, so many times with your buddy laying on top of you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like pairs figure skating when the guy's lifting the woman up by her vajayjay.
I don't think Teddy. I don't think he does. I think it's like a inner labia thing. I don't think it's an actual vagina.
Right. Yeah. But the point is,
they
get pretty close.
Yeah, they're pretty close. But I mean, I think we all know that 99.9% of those guys are not interested in the vajayjay.
Well, if I was engaged to a woman who was in pairs figure skating, and it was some guy who was a very tall, athletic guy, and he was lifting her up by her inner labia.
But Ted, if he didn't doing that,
I'd be very disconcerted.
But Ted, if he didn't like lifting her up by that, I don't think you'd have to be concerned. Yeah.
Well, if there's a grown man who could lift up your girlfriend with one hand, you should be very concerned. You should be very concerned.
Well, Ted, then I guess you got something to shoot for. Okay, so Teddy, let me ask you this: since 1984, take a guess at how many Olympics have actually made the host city money, a non-loser. Go for it. Since 1984.
The only one I could think of is Salt Lake City or L.A.
Wow, that's really good. The only city to make money, and this is before and since then, is Los Angeles. Okay? Before that and since that, cities lose anywhere between tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, and lately it's been billions of dollars.
So the question is, why do all these cities actually bid for the Olympics? Because there's a competition, right? Because there's a competition for the Olympics, and a lot of cities lose out. One city gets it. Like, why would they do that?
So things have changed a lot. Okay, so let me tell you this. So the Sochi Olympics, I think that was Japan. Was that Japan? Sochi.
Sochi sounds like Japan.
So that was it cost them $50 billion with a B, $50 billion with a B to put on those games. Okay, now I know these cities. There's a very small now, very, very small number of cities that actually want to do this. Now I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to home. Are you ready? I know you know this, but other people don't. In case you don't know this, our podcast originates in Chicago, right? And this shithole city tried to get the 2016 Olympics.
I remember that. Yep.
Okay, so we missed out. But
thank God. Oh goodness.
but Teddy, it just because we missed doesn't mean we're not in the hole. You ready for this? The city is on the hook for over $140 million. $140 million
for missing out on the bid.
Well, here's the biggest part of this. Okay, the city bought an old hospital for $2 million an acre. The Michael Reese Hospital, something like that. Whatever. It doesn't. Nobody gives a shit about the name of it, right?
Right.
And right now, all that land we bought that was supposed to be stuff and places, right? It's worth about $300,000 an acre right now. And
sounds like the Pontiac Superdome.
Yeah, so we still own it. Yeah. And I think here's the biggest problem. Cities are bidding for this, and most city politicians are corrupt as fuck, right?
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't give a shit about anybody. They're interested in how much money they can make, how much money their buddies can make, how much fun they can have.
Sure.
And so our city was put in debt $140 million for not
on a losing bid.
Yeah, on a losing bid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ever since then, after watching everybody lose now billions of dollars over the last couple, nobody wants to do this shit anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who in their right mind would bet on the Olympics? That's the bottom line. I mean, it's ridiculous. So.
It's super crazy. Okay. So Teddy, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but I need to get to our next sponsor because we got a lot of shit going on here, right? Are your noodles not slippery enough? Does your family constantly complain that the noodles you serve aren't slippery at all? Try Slippery Noodles. Slippery noodles are 3 times more slippery than the slipperiest noodles on the market. If you love noodles and you need them slippery, try Slippery Noodles. Available anywhere slippery foods are sold. Oh man, you know what? These food ones get me because I'm always hungry when we do this. I don't want to be on full stomach. I want to be able to be ready and that kind of shit.
You're like a lion hunting on an empty stomach.
Is that how lions hunt on an empty stomach?
Have you ever heard of a lion or a tiger or a leopard hunting on a full stomach? Yeah, that doesn't happen. They're on an empty stomach.
Well, I mean, maybe they're high. Can animals get high? Can they eat shit that like Like, can an animal get high and still want to eat something?
Well, I mean, unless you trank them, you tranquilize them. I mean,
Wait
probably
a
not gonna
minute.
be high.
So animals don't naturally know like where to go to like eat